Hello, 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 and welcome to Thorough Thoughts with EpitaphFox. Today we will be learning more about Mountain Dew, not sponsored, and here with us to expand our horizons is our guest, Nintendobro. Nintendobro, welcome and thank you for joining me today to discuss Mountain Dew, of all things. Before we begin, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Fox. I appreciate it. My name is Nintendobro. By day, I am a boring half office, half production floor worker. I won't go into all the nitty gritty details of what I do. By night, I am married. I have three children. In fact, at the time of this recording, we celebrated my oldest son's fourth birthday today, and he got everything and anything you can imagine Mario and Mario Kart. Seems like I am an avid gamer. Um, love Nintendo. Have played it for years. Going on 30 plus years of playing on Nintendo. Also like Xbox somewhat. I do stream as well on twitch.tv/ it's Nintendo Bro. So if you ever want to come hang out with me and see what my streams are like, you're more than welcome. But that's not the point of what we're here today. I'm here today because my good friend Fox wants to do an interview of the thing I am one of the many things I'm passionate about, and we've landed on Mountain Dew for this one. So happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you here. And certainly, in the pre interview process, you listed several different items, but Mountain Dew kind of topped the list in both, you offering what you'd like to talk about, but also me personally wanting to know how this interview would even go talking about a soda.
Hopefully, pretty well. Hopefully, pretty well.
I'm
I think
confident it
I've
will
got.
go well.
I think I've got enough breadth of experience with it to hopefully make it interesting. So we'll see.
Well, let's just jump right into it then. My first question, I'm getting this topic from you from the pre-interview process. I'm seeing Mountain Dew as an option here. I'm thinking, why Mountain Dew? Why not any other soda?
Um. Okay. So why Mountain Dew? Like, I drink other sodas too. I don't want to. I don't want it to seem like that I'm the kind of guy that you're only ever going to catch me with a Mountain Dew in my hand. You will most likely catch me with a Mountain Dew in my hand, but it's not the only thing I drink. I also try to drink water, as you should. I do drink the occasional Coca-Cola as well. I will drink a Monster Energy drink, but particularly Mountain Dew. I mean, it's just good, man. It's smooth. It's really easy to drink. It works as a beverage for any meal. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is. You can use it for any meal, and it's perfectly fine. It's just good, man. I love it. I can't help it. I mean, I can't tell you, dude. I have spent way too much time in the dentist chair because of the addiction that I have to Mountain Dew, and I've tried to get better over the years. I'm working on it, but just can't shake it. It's just too good. Can't give it up.
So we already need to detract from the list of questions here.
Means it's gonna be a good interview if we're doing this already.
I think so. What is the best kind of like food for breakfast that Mountain Dew like goes best with?
Um okay, so my breakfast, my breakfast in the office 5 days a week. I have a pack of typically brown sugar cinnamon pop tarts and a Mountain Dew. However, it is not exclusive to say that is the only thing Mountain Dew goes well with. Um, I don't want to jump ahead of one of the future answers, so I won't give away too much. Um, but like you have a traditional breakfast meal, dude. Just have a Mountain Dew with it, and it's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. And like Mountain Dew, a couple years ago, well, this has been several years ago now. They came out with this. I'm trying to remember what the specific uh name for it was, but they came out with what they were terming like, oh, Kickstart. That's what it was. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Like those were supposed to be like early morning kind of like start your day Mountain Dews, and I'm like, dude, you don't even need that. Just a regular Mountain Dew is fine. Just stick with one of those.
Now,
But
because I
yeah,
don't know, is Mountain Dew Kickstart an energy drink or is it a soda?
I would. It's more of a soda because like Kickstart. where Kickstart is different from regular Mountain Dew is they put like different juice in it. So it's just they're adding that to it. They're trying to kind of mellow out the flavor of Mountain Dew, make it something more palatable. Because Kickstart was not just like Mountain Dew with whatever juice. Like they had other flavors too.
Mm-hmm.
Because what was it? There was like citrus. There was fruit punch there for a little while. Then they started to branch out and make other ones. I really actually liked. They did a black cherry one that I thought was really good too. But those were like they were trying to make it like if you want to drink Mountain Dew, but maybe not feel like you're in part of this extreme Mountain Dew experience, this is the Mountain Dew for you.
It almost sounds like a Mountain Dew, but for kids.
Maybe not quite that much because it wasn't like they took everything out of Mountain Dew. They just, I think they, it's kind of like I have my wife is doing with my youngest. So my youngest son is 8 months old, and I don't know that she's started to do this yet. I know she's done it with my other two children when they got to this age. But like when they actually start to drink juice, like we can't just give them like straight juice because it's, it's too much for them to handle at a
Mm-hmm.
super young age. So she'll always cut it with some water, like do half water, half juice to kind of like water it down. So that's basically like what I think is Kickstart was basically like we're going to take Mountain Dew and we're just going to put it in a cup of juice. And there you go. Basically it.
Now, slightly pivoting back to the food element of this, do you own the Mountain Dew cookbook?
No, I do not. I do not. I was not aware such a thing exists. I know I'm passionate about it, but apparently I'm not deep enough in the weeds as I thought I was.
I recall a episode of Food Theory on YouTube where they
Oh
made a
man.
whole bunch of different things from it just to see like does it work. And
I'm going to have to I'm going to have to watch this now and also subsequently order the cookbook.
you probably should. I mean,
Were they high on it?
I, it's been a while since I've seen it. I just kind of remember that it exists. I don't remember the experience. I just remember things being really green.
Sounds about right.
All right.
That sounds about right.
So back to the interview proper. Uh, what is your earliest memory involving Mountain Dew?
Okay, so for the longest time growing up, through my childhood years, I did not like Mountain Dew. Like I think I might have tried it once or twice and just was not big on it. I was not really like big soda drinker to begin with though.
You
In
thought
my
maybe
house
that
growing
if
up,
you had drank it with like some juice involved, then
I
maybe.
mean maybe, maybe, I don't know. But growing up in my house, like my dad did not drink any soda, still does not to this day. My mom drinks Diet Coke. That was it. So if there was any soda in the house, it was Diet Coke. So I never drank it because I didn't like it. So I mean, I grew up on just, water, orange juice, and Kool-Aid, pretty much. Didn't really get sodas. Like we didn't go out to eat a whole lot. Couldn't really afford it. So I didn't have a lot of exposure to it. But I mean, I had it. We go out every once in a while, and I think I might have tried it once or twice, but I don't remember it. I just remember thinking I probably didn't like it. Where where it all turned, um, so this would have been, man, it had to have been at least like 2004, 2005. I want to say it was 05. Um, very latest 2006. My brother and I, we had some friends from church that uh they were big. Well, I wouldn't say they were big gamers, but they were also gamers,
Mm-hmm.
and they liked Halo. Halo 2 was out, and we made it a thing where usually about once every other month or so we started to do LAN parties where one of them would just host it. Everybody bring their Xbox and a TV, and we come and just play Halo 2 all night, have a great time. It was awesome. Um, the very first one of those that I went to, I remembered we went to the buddy's house and we're going to be there all night. And they had a 2 liter of Coca Cola, water, and everything else was Mountain Dew. That's all they had. So I initially started the night like drinking through the Coca-Cola. I think we had some pizzas or whatever. And at some point throughout the night, it might have been, probably around midnight or so, Coca-Cola ran out. So I remember asking about water, and the dude was like, "Yeah, just go upstairs and go in the kitchen. It's in the fridge." Uh, so I went upstairs. It's midnight. I'm in a house I've never been in before, trying to find a cup. I think I had one from downstairs that I brought with me, but I was so worried because like there was the guy's parents and his younger brother that were also upstairs sleeping, so I didn't want to make a bunch of noise. So I think I got one cup of water, drank that, and then like I'm like I don't want to do that because I feel like I'm gonna wake them up or be loud, and I don't want to do that. It's rude. So I go back downstairs. We get back into some more Halo, and I start to get thirsty, and it's been years by this point now since the last time I had tried Mountain Dew. I do know that
Mhm.
like it had been a long time, and so I'm finally like, you know what, man, I'm gonna try it. If I like it, cool. It's what they got. If not, I'll just try to tough it out and try to be quiet and get some water, whatever. So I tried it and I was hooked immediately, like instantly. I ended up having this is how I remember it, and that's what I told everybody after that. I ended up having 17 cans of Mountain Dew within a 2-hour period after that.
Wow.
Like I was just instantly hooked, man. And it's been that ever since. Like I've just been stuck on it, man. Uh it's gotten me to do maybe not crazy things. Um but I know that like other memories that I have with Mountain Dew, when I was in high school, um I was homeschooled ninth through 12th grade. Uh, and so there would be times where, just for something to do, I would go to the library and get magazines, typically like Popular Science, Popular Mechanics, Sports Illustrated, um, maybe the occasional gaming magazine. I don't think so though. But I would do that. I would also get a couple books here and there, different series. I was getting into like the Halo books then, but I would always bring a backpack with me. And what I would do on purpose is I would take the backpack, put all my books in it that I had to take back to the library, get some new books. And I always made sure I got books because I needed an excuse to go back to the library.
Mhm.
And on the way back from the library, I would go a different way than I would come to the library because I would go by a Save-A-Lot that had a pop machine out in front of it, and you could still get cans of Mountain Dew for 50 cents a piece. So I would bring like whatever change I could find. It was usually $2 or $3. Stop at that vending machine, load up on Mountain Dews in my bag, and ride home. And I might make it another day or two with what supply I would stock up on. Just that was how I would get my Mountain Dew because my parents would not buy soda. Like they did
Mhm.
not want to buy it for us. Again, it was the same thing. Like my mom was the only person that got soda. So if I wanted it, I had to buy it. But I never told him. That's what I did for years and years. It wasn't until after I moved out that I told him that,
I
and that my
don't
mom was like,
know. I don't know necessarily if I should be in shock or impressed at this like Ocean's 11 library soda pop heist scheme that you cultivated. I'm leaning more towards impressed of like I'll go to the library and I'll get books to justify going to the library. Then I'll go a different way home.
so on top of this, to go along with another story that goes kind of the same vein. When I was in high school, so I was homeschooled, but there was a
Mhm.
Christian school that I had gone to for years before that. That they had a basketball team, and so my brothers and I played. And one year, the coach like gave us these workout routines that he wanted us to do, and one of them was for me being a guard because I'm short. I had to do some running. So there was another guy on our team that was also a guard that same thing, supposed to run. And so we would meet up at our local park every Friday to do our running for that week. And so we would, run at the park, whatever. And then I would go, man, I don't even know. Like it was literally probably at least a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles out of my way from the way that I went to the park to stop at a Speedway gas station on the way back and get some kind of soda, some kind of Mountain Dew, whether it was bottles, cans, or a fountain pop, and I would drink the entire thing before I got back home so I could throw it away in somebody else's trash can instead of my own so I wouldn't get in trouble. But I would do that every Friday.
All right, we're starting to lean towards like junkie territory here of like, gotta get your fix,
Oh,
gotta throw it
100%,
out.
man. 100%, dude. Like I'm telling you, it is just something I've tried to shake it for years, and it's like, man, I think I'm gonna get to a spot where like maybe this will be it. I can lay off it for a while, and it just never happens. Never does.
So just a couple of things from the first memory you shared. Firstly, I just want to thank you for explaining what a LAN party is. Not because I don't know, but because that's such a relic of a term nowadays
Oh
that
yeah, man.
you never know who's listening who's like, I have no idea what that is. Um,
It's
secondly,
the one big problem I have with everything just being like online gaming culture now is you lose that because LAN parties,
mhm.
they're just such a different animal, and they're unless you're in a party of like 12 people when you're playing online, like there's just no other experience like it. If you're listening to this and you have an opportunity to get with some friends, or maybe you can go somewhere that you can do one of these things, like being in person together and having group multiplayer settings, it's so much fun. You got to do it.
I'd argue it's easier to do nowadays because of how prominent not only just mobile gaming but also like console portable gaming has
Yeah.
become. Switch 2, Steam Deck, um, rumors about a new PlayStation portable console. Maybe that's all discussion for another episode of this. But also, I would just like to say how narratively satisfying it sounds that your first experience of enjoying Mountain Dew is your typical gaming setting, social anxiety type of
100%.
scenario.
100%, man. And I've just never looked back since.
Well, honestly, personally, I'm glad that you ended up liking it because I have been in like slumber party situations in the past growing up where it's like you're away from where you need to go for like either like the bathroom or like getting water or something, and it's like, oh, you just want me to like go upstairs into the rest of your house when everyone's asleep? That sounds weird, man.
Pretty much. Like even when I was there and like it wasn't night yet, like
Mm-hmm.
we were all just in the basement in one room. We didn't go anywhere else. So like I wasn't just gonna go wandering through the whole house. Like I knew I was being welcome there to play Xbox. I was not being welcome there to go explore their house. So I was just like, bro, this, I'm not sure about this.
It's like, oh man, do I die of thirst, or do I just try Mountain Dew one
Basically.
more time?
Basically.
So back to the crux of all of this, Mountain Dew. What is the definitive best flavor of Mountain Dew?
I mean, like I think you have to go with the classic. Now, is it my personal favorite? No. But I think that you have to go with the classic just because it is a taste that it's timeless, man. Like it's very difficult to find a good replacement for it. Um there are a couple that have done well. For example, Mountain Lightning is fine. So if you want to go to Walmart and buy some store brand Mountain Dew, their store brand's all right. Um, I don't think Save a Lot bottles theirs anymore. I don't think they do it anymore, but they used to have one called Mountain Holler that was also pretty good. Um, that was definitely the closest thing you were going to get to actual Mountain Dew. Um, when Meyer did store brand soda, theirs was also really good. Not quite on the same level as Mountain Holler, but close. After that, like, bro, it's just not even close, man. Everything is just such a drop off. Like if you shop at Kroger, if you're in that region of the country and you try their like Citrus K, I think is what it's called, dude. It's not good. It's bad. Um, I remember when Coca-Cola came out with Vault several years ago.
Mhm.
Was still not the same, like same kind of profile, but just wasn't. Mellow Yellow is not as good. Um, Often imitated, hardly ever repeated.
It's
That's what I think of.
it's really interesting that you're kind of going for a like attempts at replication in terms of like talking about flavor, because the only other flavor that I think has its own identity separate from Mountain Dew is Baja Blast.
I thought you were gonna say Dr. Pepper, honestly.
I was speaking strictly of Mountain Dew and Mountain
Okay,
Dew's like
okay,
individual flavors across different sodas. Dr Pepper for sure. I mean,
yeah,
their branding is that it's like 23 flavors or something, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Baja Blast. So I think then if you want to go into like unique flavors,
Yeah.
that's where you have to kind of go into the weeds on like previous iterations that you can't find anymore, where you might find some more unique kind of standalone Mountain Dew flavors. Like particularly, this is probably my all-time favorite. Um, there's Pitch Black 2. So Pitch Black you can still kind of find today. It's a little bit difficult. They don't bottle it, they don't can it. But you can typically find it. Like I've got a gas station up the street from where I live now that has it in the fountain, but that's about the only way you're going to get it. But they used to do back in the day. They used to do a Pitch Black 2, which was bottled and sold. But what made that one unique, it was essentially just original Pitch Black, but what they did was they gave you a flavor packet mix in that made it like sour. And so it was a
Oh,
sour grape Mountain Dew that was super good.
that sounds
But
really good.
yeah, but that's been, I mean, that's been 15 years ago at least. It's been a long time.
Bring it back. Mountain Dew executives, we know you're
Ah,
watching.
man. I would love to. I would kiss the ground they walk on if they would, but you know, unrealistic expectations at that point.
So, what is something about Mountain Dew that many people may not realize or know about?
Okay, so this is where I didn't want to give away too much when you were asking me what breakfast item pairs well with Mountain Dew. The reason I didn't want to give that away is the third ingredient on Mountain Dew. If you look at the ingredients, the third ingredient is concentrated orange juice.
Oh.
So that's why I think it really works as a breakfast drink because it does have like it's not far off from being orange juice. Like it's got a little bit different flavor profile, and then you add carbonation to it, but it's one of those that it works as a breakfast drink for that reason because it's basically just like an edgier orange juice. Um, so I
Edgier
think that's
orange
that's
juice.
yeah, I think that's something that probably a lot of people don't know. Um, of course, too, if you want to talk about what younger people probably don't know now is Mountain Dew is by name stolen from another beverage. Mountain Dew was the original term for like moonshine back in the day. They would make Mountain Dew when if you look up the old branding, like they leaned into that. They used to have like uh moonshine jugs, like the little I'm trying to remember what kind of jugs with the like the three X's on the front of them,
Yep.
the like spittoon jugs or whatever. And they used to have it was like a cowboy that was holding a jug that the cork had popped off and blown a hole through his hat. Uh, so yeah, Mountain Dew is also moonshine. Not the Mountain Dew we drink, no, but that's where they got that name from, that inspiration from. I mean, there's a bluegrass song out there called Mountain Dew that is talking about that. That I know how to play a little bit on the banjo. I'm not gonna do that tonight, just because the rest of my house is sleeping at the time of this recording.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think the big thing is probably that third ingredient. For everybody that thinks of soda, they automatically think, okay, carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, and then just a bunch of stuff that's not good for you. Mountain Dew's like we also have that, but remember we've got orange juice snuck in before you get to any of the bad stuff.
That's actually really interesting. I had no idea. Now, I to be fair, I don't really look at the ingredients labels on anything, but I would
Yeah.
if you had offered me like $1,000, guess what the third ingredient is on Mountain Dew, I probably would have said some type of like dye or like a sugar or something. Would not have thought of orange juice. Now,
There you go. Learn something new today.
I technically know the answer to this already, but just for the sake of our audio listeners here, are you drinking Mountain Dew right now?
Okay. Here you go. Here you go, folks. If you're listening at home, I just cracked open a fresh one for you, and I am going to verify here. Let me read. Carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, concentrated orange juice, citric acid, natural flavor. Those are your first 5 ingredients in Mountain Dew. So to answer your question, yes, I am drinking Mountain Dew.
Wonderful.
Classic flavor too, by the way, in case you're wondering.
I was about to say, it looks like it's a classic.
Yes. They've recently done a logo refresh. I think this rolled out probably about 3 months ago. That harkens more back to the original logo, and it makes me so happy that it is actually back to being full spelled Mountain Dew and not the MTN Dew anymore. I was so upset when they rebranded to that to begin with. Made no sense to me, but I don't make those decisions.
If only, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we were setting the interview up, I asked you about criticisms you might be aware of regarding the topic. You mentioned the Yellow 5 discourse. What is that?
Okay, so now looking into this, Fox, because I only knew one aspect of it, so I wanted to look into it after I'd mentioned it just to make sure I was validating what I believed about the Yellow 5, and that is still information that's out there, but there's a lot more that has come to light now with Yellow 5, because it's one of those food dyes that often gets brought up. You've got Yellow 5 is one, Red 40 is another one. There's a couple other ones, like it's one of the supposedly like pretty bad ones for you. At this point, it's whatever. Pepsi has already said they're working on trying to remove a lot of these dyes from their sodas, so we'll see if that changes. Yellow 5 was one that was mentioned specifically. Now, the original criticism, the one that I am familiar with Yellow 5, let me take a sip here first, is that let me just also throw out a disclaimer. I don't know what age your audience is going to be, so if you're a little bit younger and maybe you don't know how quite everything works with the facts of life, you may want to skip ahead a couple minutes. That being said, the original criticism / urban rumor, urban myth, urban legend about Yellow 5 is that Yellow 5 significantly reduces sperm count in a man. So yes, so makes it having children much more difficult because you're not putting out the right amount of things when the act of procreation happens.
You would think
now
the beverage associated with gamer fuel would do the opposite.
I mean, maybe I don't know, because when you think about the stereotypes of gamers that float around right now, like nobody really thinks about like hardcore gamers as being people that are married and have children, much less a child. They think it's probably somebody that's living on their own that just has a job, because if they don't have a job, then their lights turn off and they can't play video games anymore anyways. So they just spend the rest of their time at home, gaming away on whatever. So,
well, that's the stereotype we're trying to break here.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So that being said, that's where I kind of disagree with some of the criticism, because as I mentioned in my introduction, I am married and I have 3 kids. So clearly, I may just be an outlier here. I've been told that before, that there are a few things about me that are a little bit interesting.
I mean, I'd be willing to believe you have a certain level of like blood concentration involving Mountain Dew at this point. So
I mean, maybe, like, honestly, I kind of think that. Now, granted, I say all that, and I just had blood work done. Shoot, it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5, and everything came back great. Totally fine. Blood sugar levels are all that. I'm good. My body is processing everything just fine. Like, I have no issues with it. And that's basically all I drink.
So that's what the Yellow 5 discourse was. Like that was the situation going on, the rumor that it was causing those types of issues.
Yes. Now, if you look up Yellow 5, you will find more issues than that have been brought to light today. Like there are some other things that they've talked about. Um, Now, some of these studies though haven't officially been proven out. So I think there's still like additional testing going on with them. So we'll see. But I think that's partly why Pepsi is also trying to be a little bit more proactive about trying to eliminate a lot of these dyes, because they had mentioned too. If you're listening at home and you're not aware, PepsiCo, Lay's is also owned by Pepsi. They make the chip people are owned by the Pepsi people. So they've already eliminated a lot of those different kind of dyes from several of the chips, and they're, I'm assuming going for the low hanging fruit and working their way backwards into the drinks. So, but that's where it's at.
So my next question, if I'm being honest, I don't know even what I'm asking here. So I'm hoping that in addition to you answering the question, that you understand it at least.
Okay.
Do you do the do? And in what ways do you do the do?
Okay, so do I do the do? Now, so when we talk about doing the do, that was an old marketing slogan that they used to use. I don't know, because Mountain Dew there in like the early 2000s was, and even with that like initial rebrand, the one that they just moved off of, they were trying to promote themselves as like kind of an edgier, like real high energy, high octane type of drink. And fun fact as well, this might be another one to throw out there. Mountain Dew is actually considered an energy drink in the UK. It's not a soda.
Oh.
It's labeled as an energy drink. But so like I think of Mountain Dew as like doing the do is like you're kind of just like that edgy, extreme type of person, and if I'm honest with myself, like that's not me, dude. Like I'm cool with doing extreme stuff. I've been rappelling down a 200-foot cliff face before. I love roller coasters. Adrenaline rushes are like I'm all for that. I've been whitewater rafting on some of the best whitewater rapids east of the Mississippi. I like skiing. So I like doing that kind of stuff, but do I do it all the time? Like is that kind of adrenaline just always flowing through my veins? No, dude. I have a 9 to 5 office job that I work 5 days a week, and I come home to my middle class house where I sit down in the evenings and open a can of Mountain Dew and watch a baseball game and hang out with my wife and kids for a little bit before they go to bed, and I go to bed subsequently shortly thereafter. So do I do the do? No. I would like to. I do. I have moments. I have moments that I do the do. It's not often though. What was the second half of the question, or was that was?
It all kind of like goes into it. Like
Okay.
if you do the do, in what way do you do it?
Okay.
And you're saying you don't really do it, but you'd like to. What are some things that you could do in your day to day that would do the do?
Man, in my day to day. Well, okay, so I don't know how much I could do at work, because my job at work is I am a safety professional. So my job is to make sure that people are in fact doing the opposite of the do while they do their jobs.
You're stopping the do.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes, yes. No, we are going to do not the do. That's what's going to happen. Outside of that, like I don't honestly, dude. I don't really know. The closest thing no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
You support the company financially. That's what you do.
Yes, yes. That's basically it. That's basically it. The most excitement I might have is if I catch somebody doing something that I have to correct. Like that might get my adrenaline going a little bit. Depends on how serious of a scenario it is, or depending on, it may just be like how wild of a situation it is altogether. Like the last time that kind of really sparked my antennas on something, and I know this is going to just sound like the most completely mundane thing ever because it's my job. But there was a situation that came up where I was walking through our facility, and where I work at, it's a very large operation. I think we employ something like 900 people. Um, I don't want to go too specific.
Sure.
But we do end to end for what we build. We basically handle the entire thing. Like we will fabricate parts for it, um, paint those parts, assemble the product, ship it out, all that. A couple of other things that we have to have supplied by other folks. But largely we handle a lot of that in-house. So I was walking through our paint area, and we use powder coat paint, which, if you're not familiar with how powder coat paint works, you put the powder coat on it, like you spray your whatever it is, and then you have to run it through an oven to bake. And when it bakes, that's what will allow that powder coat to finish and, essentially melts together and hardens. Gives it a nice glossy look, whatever. So it's these big ovens. So I'm walking through there, and I notice this dude walks over to one of these ovens and just pulls out like a whole like catering tray of food. And I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like I don't even understand where all this comes from. And I'm like, dude, this is like in my mind, it's immediate red flag, immediate alarms. But at the same time, too, I'm like, how do I even approach this? Like, what do I do? Because this dude is like just getting food out, but it's breaking a rule because that oven is considered a confined space, which you can look up all the OSHA laws on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's improper entry into a confined space. And I'm like, there's no way this dude just thought that today, like, hey man, we've got these giant ovens at work. I bet I could bring some food in here. Like, if you're bringing a whole catering tray in there, this is a thing that's been going on for a while. And I'm like, bro, what?
I would be more concerned about putting food in what would essentially be a oven for chemical purposes.
So I thought about that too, because I'm like, dude, like, do you know what you're about to eat?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that it's the very exit of the oven, so by then everything probably might be okay. Um, but thankfully he had it covered in foil, so nothing could
Okay.
actually get on top of it. But at the same time, too, if there is chemical in the air, that's air that is
Mm-hmm.
warming the food. So, so thankfully enough, like, I went and told my manager about it because that was like discussions that he was going to have with other managers, and that wasn't really like something I had to handle. But
It's like, hey, just
yeah,
want to let you know there's a
I'm
guy
like,
over there doing the do, and
we can't do that here. We cannot do the do. No doing can be done here. Yeah. In my daily life, otherwise, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, uh, shoot, pulling off if I play some Halo and I pull off a cool like no scope, that's probably as extreme as it gets. And even then, I don't really play Halo that much anymore.
any
So
type of pro gamer moment is
yeah,
doing the do.
yeah, that's what it boils down to anymore. Like, pro gamer moments is about all that I have.
Now, if you had your own flavor of Mountain Dew, what would it be?
Oh man, my own flavor.
Now, you can probably take this question like one of two ways. You could either try to think of like what would be the embodiment of the Nintendobro experience as a flavor, or like what is a flavor you would like to have as a Mountain Dew flavor that maybe doesn't exist or used to exist and doesn't anymore.
What I would like for them to try, um, they did a flavor 2 years ago. They did a flavor 2 years ago called Thrashed Apple, 2 or 3 years ago. Um,
It
which it
sounds
was an apple
like
flavored.
a body spray scent.
A little bit, a little bit. But it was an apple flavored Mountain Dew, and I got it. I tried it. I was not big on it. Not a fan. However, I love um sour apple blow pops. I think
Mm.
those things are just so good. And if they could do like when I mean, with a name like Thrashed Apple, like that's what I thought it was gonna be, was like a sour apple, but it wasn't. But I think a sour apple Mountain Dew would probably be like really good.
So maybe like if they brought it back as like Thrash Apple 2 and it came with that like
Yes.
mix.
Yes. Just to give you the option. Like, you can
Yeah.
have have the regular if you want, or if you want to, do the dew with your dew and mix this dew packet in, you can have super dew. Yes, yeah, I think otherwise, like, I've tried most of the, I can't say most of the flavors. I can say most of the well-known flavors. Um like I've tried, Pitch Black I love, regular I love, Code Red is good, Live Wire is good. Um Voltage is good, but I can only have so much of that because Voltage is different. They add ginseng into that, and it's just something about, I think it's just the ginseng being in there. Like if I have a lot of that, my tummy will not be happy with me later. It makes me, it just, dude, it messes me up. Um, what else is out there? I mentioned Livewire. I'm not a fan of Baja Blast. Just gonna be honest, not crazy about it.
All right, everyone, get
Um,
in the comments.
and you're more than welcome to, man. Let me even throw it out there. I worked at Taco Bell for 5.5 years. I had an opportunity to get all the Baja Blasts that I wanted, and I did, and it was exactly none. That's,
Oh,
oh man, no, that's what I miss. Oh, that's a flavor. Just thinking about my time working there, that's another flavor that I miss. Sangrita Blast. That stuff was
sangria.
so good. Sangrita. There is a T in there
Oh,
specifically. Sangrita Blast. Um, it was essentially like kind of like a cherry grape juice Mountain Dew flavor that was just,
okay.
it was super super good. It was a Taco Bell exclusive, and then after a couple years it went to Speedway as Mountain Dew Typhoon, I think is what it was called. Also just, man, it was so good. I love that flavor. That one and Pitch Black 2 are probably like my all-time. Man, I forgot about that one. It's been too long.
Bring it back.
I wish, man. But if they tried to bring back every flavor that they've ever made, man, like Mountain Dew is one of these sodas that it's so funny to me because they have so many exclusive flavors just in the most random places.
Mm-hmm.
Like KFC has their own exclusive flavor called Sweet Lightning. It's like orange creamsicle, I think, or something like that. Like,
Ooh,
or peaches and cream, I think. I think that's what it is. Like a peach
interesting.
creamsicle, Mountain Dew. Bojangles has their own exclusive flavor. I'm trying to remember what that one is. I've never had it because I haven't been to a Bojangles in years, and they're, hundreds of miles away from me. But they've got their own exclusive flavor. Of course, you've got Baja Blast, which there is another Baja Blast coming out of Taco Bell. Didn't know if you knew that. Um, that's another story we can tell later if we get into it. But
So,
so, like, for them to try to just bring back all these flavors, it'll never happen because they would you would have to have, like, you would have to have, how you go to the store and you have like
mm-hmm.
the soda section and it's all the different brands of soda. Like they would just have to have the Mountain Dew section and it just be all those.
It's a really interesting marketing strategy, though. Honestly, I personally don't know if there are other brands that do anything even remotely similar. Maybe
I
they'll
don't
have
think
like
so.
a couple of like limited edition stuff, but not like also further limited to store locations. I did a
Yeah.
quick Google for Bojangles Mountain Dew. It came up as Southern Shock,
Yes.
and also looks
Yes.
like it has been discontinued as well.
Okay, so they used to have their own flavor. Pardon me then. Having not been to a Bojangles, I wasn't privy to that. Um yeah, man. I mean, and just thinking like all the stuff they've done over the years too. So, I mean, you have Mountain Dew Amp, like when Mountain Dew was actually like, "Hey, as if Mountain Dew's not doing the Dew enough, let's just make our own energy drink Mountain Dew." And so they did that.
Is
Um
Amp the orange one?
I don't know if it is now. It's been years. Like I'm not a fan of Amp. It was originally a green one. It was like, it's Live Wire is the orange Mountain Dew soda.
Livewire.
Yes. Great soda, by the way. Um but yeah, Amp was an energy drink that they did. They had all the different flavors of that. You had Kickstart, which I'm not sure if they're still doing those. Um, there's another one that they did, which this would have been mid 2000s, maybe a little bit later than that. That was an It wasn't an energy drink, it was like the weird step between Mountain Dew Voltage and an energy drink, because Voltage is like a little bit more energy, quote unquote, than a regular Mountain Dew because of that ginseng, but it's not like full blown energy drink. It's still definitely very much a
Hmm.
soda. But they did one called MDX that was supposed to be like essentially an energy drink, but still a soda. Because I used to get those pretty frequently. That used to be a pretty regular like Saturday thing. I would go to a gas station and get an MDX and a Take 5 bar, and that was like my Saturday snack or something. But yeah, like no other brand out there is going all out as just like, how many different things can we do with our soda? What can we just, let's just make whatever we feel like. Like, okay, so a few years ago, the summer flavor, because they always come out with a summer flavor. The summer flavor for Mountain Dew is Liberty Brew, and their thing about Liberty Brew, like what they were classifying that as, was we've mixed 50 flavors of Mountain Dew, and this is the soda we made as a
Oh
result.
no.
No other soda out there can say that. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody can just be like, yeah, we have 50 flavors we've actually made before that we can just throw together and make something new out of. It tasted like cotton candy, by the way, in case you were wondering. So,
I mean, I
but that's
guess
just
if it's
that's
gonna taste like anything after all that nonsense, cotton candy is definitely not the worst it could eventually
yeah,
turn out to be.
yeah. I mean, it's just pure sugar at that point.
Right? So I probably should have prefaced this entire interview with my own personal knowledge, expertise, experience with Mountain Dew, because it is so minuscule. Not only just in comparison to you, but just in general. Like, I may have tried classic Mountain Dew once in my life. And also, I think I've told you this before, but I'll retell the story of the last time I ever had Mountain Dew. It was Code Red. And it was a soda that we picked up from a local pizza place because it was the default soda. And when I say default soda, I don't mean like, oh, this place, you go there, you get Code Red. It was, we got a combo, which was like pizza wings and a 2 liter. And
Mm-hmm.
they literally only had Code Red Mountain Dew in their fridges, and they have like a 4 or 5 fridge setup, and they had 2 fridges fully stocked up with the
Oh
Mountain
my
Dew Code
gosh,
Red. They said that they were waiting for their delivery guy, and this is all they had until that guy came in. And I
so
thought to
awesome.
myself, like, I could just not get a soda, or we could just get it and just deal with it because we paid for it. And so
So I mean, immediately my question is like, how did they get that much to begin with?
I don't know. I have to
That's
assume it's
insane.
the soda that people least take from them, and they had a surplus.
That's funny, man.
uh,
So you
yeah,
get the soda.
we get the soda, bring it home, drink it with the pizza, whatever. Like, for me, it's like soda is soda. Unless it really just tastes bad, I'll drink it. But I remember distinctly thinking to myself, like, this just tastes like cherry Sprite.
Okay, as somebody that's never had cherry Sprite before, I can't validate that, but I will say this, that I have there's a gas station in town called Duchess. If you get a chance to go to a Duchess, pretty decent gas station. But their fountain machine has the flavor mix-ins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so my wife, I got her a cherry Sprite the other day, and it looked a heck of a lot like Code Red. So
I mean,
so I can't argue it,
it
can't
just
validate
it.
it.
I drank it and I was like, I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I thought it would taste a little bit different, but I'm like, this is just like Sprite with some cherry flavoring in it. And I mean, I guess for myself, that was like, oh, okay, so I can drink this. I'm not gonna like throw up or go on like a rampage or anything. Because Code Red, alert, alert.
All right, out of 5 dues, how many dues did it do?
I'll give it a 2. A 2
Man,
do.
that hurts. That hurts me
We
because
are.
I say that because Code Red is my backup, just solely because of availability. Like if I have the choice, I'm gonna buy Code Red.
Yeah.
If I can get Code Red hands, I will buy Code Red. But trying to find packs of Code Red with the way soda prices are now, I usually try to buy the bigger cases, like the 24 packs. It's just they just don't really put them out there.
Well, here's my EpitaphFox promise to you, Nintendobro. I don't know when, and I don't know how far I'll necessarily go to live up to this promise. But I promise you, I will try to get like a couple of like different flavors as like variety. And maybe
Okay,
on a stream or something, I will do like a taste test and I'll let you know which one I think is the best.
excellent, excellent. I
Because
will be looking
again, like
forward
for
to it.
me, like soda is soda. I'm not gonna knock a soda just because it's like, oh, it's got a reputation, or it's like I know what I like and I'm not gonna drink anything else. Like soda is soda.
Yeah.
But they have such a variety of flavors. I think I need to give it a fair shot, and not just
Mm.
be like, Cherry Sprite was okay, Mountain Dew Code Red too.
I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be interested to know. Like I have a decent idea of what you would probably come up with, just because being familiar with this, as much as I drink it, I know what's out there.
Hmm.
Um, but it'd be interesting if you could get into maybe some of like the if you get some a hold of some of like the like what's there's a limited one right out right now. It's their summer flavor. I don't remember what it is. I haven't had this year's, but stuff like that. I'd be interested. I'd be more interested to know that. But whatever you come up with, I'll be there to watch it.
Okay, will do. Um, and so I mentioned my own Mountain Dew experience, which again, it really is. I've tried classic ones, and then the last time I ever had it was the Code Red. There really wasn't anything in between those. I did very minuscule research going into these because I try not to have too much information on my own coming into these. I want to have information presented to me and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I looked up something else on the internet and said something otherwise. But I did find some data on soda, and I'd really just like to know your take on it. So in 2024, Mountain Dew was the 6th best-selling soft drink in the U.S. behind Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, Pepsi, and Diet Coke. And
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper made headlines in the last year or two for rising in rank over Pepsi. As
Mm-hmm.
someone passionate about Mountain Dew, what is your take on these statistics? And when do you think Mountain Dew will rise in the ranks even higher than where it currently is?
Okay, give me the rankings again, just so I've got them fresh on my mind. Coca Cola number
So
one, right?
Coca-Cola for number 1, followed by Dr. Pepper,
Uh
Sprite,
huh.
Pepsi, and Diet Coke.
Okay. So I'm not surprised at any of those. Um, Primarily because 4 out of the 5 that are ahead of Mountain Dew are all carried by McDonald's. You go to McDonald's, you can get any of
Oh.
those. Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke, Sprite. All of those are carried by McDonald's. McDonald's, of course, number one restaurant. Um, on top of that, most restaurants in general use Coke products.
Mm-hmm.
You think Wendy's, they do. Burger King, they do. Uh, Subway, I think, is on Pepsi again, but they were Coca-Cola for a while. I might be mixed up there. Um, but so there's a lot of that market share that they own that way. Like you don't get into consistent Pepsi product use until you get into like the Yum Food brands, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut,
Mm-hmm.
KFC, those sorts. So those numbers don't surprise me. Um, I think that's probably about what I've expected. Um, because Pepsi, for as long as I can remember, man, like Pepsi has always been behind Coca Cola. It's never been in front. Now I know I'm not old enough to remember when they tried to do Coca-Cola 2 and Pepsi briefly had their moment in the spotlight because Coca-Cola just fumbled the bag that hard, and then they got their stuff together and have improved ever since then. Now, what can Mountain do to rise in the rankings? I don't think there's much, if anything, they can do. Um, so just to give you another little fun story here, or at least what I think is a fun story. So I went to California as part of a much larger trip um, that I was involved in college. So I went to a Bible college, and while I was in the Bible college, Bible college a little bit different than like public universities because typically, they're trying to find people more along the same ideology, belief system, all that. So typically, don't do as much like going into public schools and stuff to promote their school. So what the college that I went to would do is they would send out what they called tour groups every year. They send them out every summer. You spend 10 or 11 weeks on the road and you go to a different region of the country and they line up all these meetings with all these different churches. And what you're doing is every night you're in a different church. You sing, it's a singing group, and then you talk about the college, promote it, try to sign, potential students up, or at least get the enrollment process started with them. And you just hop around a region of the country. So one year, the first year I did that, I went out west, whole West Coast, ended up in California at one part. And while I was in California, the guy that was our chaperone, sponsor, or whatever, we went to the area that he lived in during the school year. He was a representative from the college, lived in California. So we were in the area that he lived in. So he had a lot of connections. We stayed at a house with somebody there for 10 days. And to say that we stayed in a house is putting it very lightly. We stayed in the home of a guy that was he was like a beverages distributor, essentially.
Oh,
Did all the merchandising, would do all that. Dude was wealthy. The house we stayed in was a gated house. It was a 5,000 square foot home.
wow.
Every bedroom had a bathroom attached to it. Just massive, beautiful home. So the guy was very successful businessman, right? But he also happened to have a lot of drinks and snacks in his house from stuff that he would bring home from work and all that. And so I remember talking to the guy just in passing a couple times because we've had, obviously he's a busy man. We still had other obligations and meetings to go to. And so I mentioned something about Mountain Dew, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "Dude," he's like, "Mountain Dew," he said, "Mountain Dew is a total flop to me." He said, they were like promoting it so hard and all that, like before it came out here, like, "Yeah, dude, you get Mountain Dew, you get that in these stores. It's going to be like your third or fourth best selling product, guaranteed." He said he got it, and he's like, "Dude, it doesn't even break like the top 20." Just because that region of the country, those people, it's just not their culture. They don't drink Mountain Dew like that. Like it's not their thing. You think especially, and I don't want to go too much into like, demographics and all that, but like Hispanics are not typically Mountain Dew drinkers. They drink Coca-Cola. You see Mexican Coke. Great stuff, by the way. Mexican Sprite, even. Like it's definitely like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has their footprint all over the world, and just runs away from Pepsi in that regard. Where Mountain Dew does most of their success is, or where they have most of their success is essentially like the area of the country I live in, the Midwest, East, especially in like Appalachia, maybe a little bit as you head out toward the West, but it's primarily like that middle slice of the country, head east a little bit. And so I think it's just a culture thing. I don't think that will change as long as, because everywhere you go in the country, the culture is different. It's not the same to be in California as it is to be in, Ohio. Totally different. So I don't think it can really do much. The only thing that I could see happening is if like Pepsi just drops Pepsi and makes a Mountain Dew Cola, but I don't think that would do well either. just because people would be like, that does not sound good. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's successful enough for what it is that it's not going to go anywhere. It's still going to see, a million different flavors come out every year, but
I would think that
it's
the
got
only way for any type of like meaningful change in any rankings, based off of like sales or popularity or what have you, would have to be some type of like new flavor that just transcends the brand itself. That's
right.
like this is the unequivocal best flavor of Mountain Dew ever come out, and then you get people to try it, and then you get people to go, wow, that's actually really good, I'm gonna start buying this more. And all it would take is a significant commercial success for it to become a more widely available flavor.
And I think truthfully, Fox, I think because of the sheer amount of flavors they have tried, I genuinely think they're kind of limited to where it would have to be a like Mountain Dew Cola or a Mountain Dew version of a Sprite,
Hmm.
something like that. Because I think that's part of why Dr. Pepper has done so well is it's cola with a different flavor. I'm not a fan of Dr. Pepper, but I know that there are a lot of folks out there that are, obviously. But like Mountain Dew, the flavor profiles between a cola and a Mountain Dew, they're way different type of sodas. Um, so I get, the fact that it's number 6, I think is a pretty good pat on the back for itself right there. But yeah, as far as what flavor they could come out with, man, I just don't know. I don't think there's anything that would have a wide enough appeal to reach that upper echelon, except unless they're going to try to copy something that's already there and maybe try to do it better.
Yeah.
But you know,
So,
at that point,
sometimes these things, just to have a moment of shakeup would require something greater than itself.
or 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 some type of global meme. That's basically
Or like
it, man.
a
That's where
GameStop
it's at.
effect.
Yes, 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 and just take off from that. But I don't see that happening. Mountain Dew's already got its market. It's got its niche. It is very much like where it is a big deal in culture. It is a very big deal in those places like West Virginia, Ohio, some of these places. It's like the number one selling soda, which is why it's so far up the rankings. Um, and it's got its branding out there as being like the gamer soda. So like my favorite meme out there is like the which they did actually make it after the meme came out, but the Doritos flavored Mountain Dew, like the ultimate gamer soda. But then they did actually make a Dorito flavored Mountain Dew just as like a test thing. Like I don't think they actually sent it to market, but just to show that they could do it.
I can only imagine the aftertaste.
I would be so upset. I'm not gonna lie. I would be so upset to drink a Doritos Mountain Dew because I don't think I could process the fact that I'm drinking the Doritos flavor. I would just feel like something is wrong because I should be eating a chip, not drinking a
Yeah.
beverage, and it doesn't sit with me.
Well, it's weird how across like food, candy, and beverage, a lot of like taste profile actually comes from the sense of smell. And so it's like if you can get kind of like the essence of the aftertaste and maybe like a scent of something, you can trick the consumer's mind into thinking that there's like a flavor when really it's more like you're experiencing the chemical reaction in your taste buds and sinuses to make you think of experiencing that. For example, like I would say that a Doritos flavored Mountain Dew would need to emulate the experience of you are already eating a chip and then you're drinking your Mountain Dew, and there's like a mouth feel and like a certain like way that those flavors combine in your mouth, that they really just need to hit on that type of like flavor memory receptor, not necessarily actually making it taste that way. And then I guess you kind of go into uncanny valley territory with flavors and stuff.
So now we're getting into where we need a gritty soda, and I don't think I like the sound of that.
It doesn't
Like
have to be
soda with
gritty. I
I
heard,
hope not.
I have no idea the legitimacy of this, but I recall reading some type of article several X amount of years ago about how Doritos had the technology to have the chips taste the same without the cheese dust on them. Like they were able to do it. They could make it actually just flavored and no extra cheese dust.
Yeah.
And the consumers said, well, we like the feeling of having the dust and licking off at our fingers. Don't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think you necessarily need a gritty soda.
I hope not. But that also going along with what you said there about senses, that's also why typically fountain sodas taste different than like a can or a bottle,
Yeah.
because you don't have the smell profile to go along with it, because you've got that closed off.
Yeah.
You're drinking it through a straw.
Well, and it's also like what is it, the McDonald's Sprite discourse, it tastes
Yes.
different, and it's because of the salt from the fries. Like if you're getting a soda from McDonald's, you're probably getting food there as well, and so they've fine-tuned the level of the syrup that gets mixed in with the soda water to create, you know, your cup of Sprite from McDonald's, where it pairs with the saltiness of the fries and whatever food you're getting to actually make it taste better.
Two things that I want to add to that. First of all, I've not heard that. What I have heard makes McDonald's, not just Sprite, but their sodas altogether, so much different from any other restaurant that you go to, is that they have the syrup is chilled. So the actual like syrup bags that they use, those come chilled. They keep them refrigerated and they're served that way. Second, supposedly, I've never looked into like the legitimacy of this, but supposedly that same sort of thing is how Baja Blast came to be, because they wanted to make a Mountain Dew that specifically paired well with Taco Bell food. And thus Baja Blast was born out of that. Now I don't know the truth to that. That's just what I've always heard.
There's probably
you can Google search at home.
Truth.
Yeah, you can Google search that at home if you want and find out for yourself. But that's what the rumor mill says.
So to wrap things up here, focusing, I guess, a little bit less on the now and maybe more on the future of Mountain Dew. What else is going on in the Mountain Dew universe lately? Is there a new flavor coming out soon? Are there rumors in the Dewmunity?
Okay, so I probably have not done my due diligence to see what all is in the pipeline. There are groups out there that are big into that. One thing that in the immediate future is happening, and just to give you another little backstory, I found this out because of one of those, like Facebook groups that you can join. And I mentioned this earlier. There is a new Baja Blast flavor coming to Taco Bell, called Baja Blast Midnight. Now, while I'm sitting here at home, I'm going to just waste some time and talk for a second while I pull up the Taco Bell app on my phone, because I'm not for sure that this is out yet or not. It may be, it may not be. Okay, now I have to update my app, so it's going to be a couple more seconds.
I can help pad for time a little bit.
I don't use the Taco Bell app. I don't really use these apps. I went to McDonald's today for my son's birthday. We went there because we went to one that both of my oldest children, that's what we do on their birthdays. We go to McDonald's. There's a McDonald's in the town where I work, which is a half hour away from where I live. that still has a play place. So we go there so that way they can get a
Oh.
kids meal and actually get to, play on a play place. So that's about the only time we ever drive that far to go to McDonald's is
Hmm.
for a birthday. So when I went there today, it's one of the more updated ones where like they really don't want you to order through a cashier at all. They want you to order through the app
Yeah.
or through their kiosks. And so same thing, I go to pull up my app so I can scan it to get points, and sure enough, dude, I had not updated it, so then I'm standing there using crap McDonald's Wi-Fi trying to update this app and, holding up everybody. Okay. So let's see. I'm pulling up the Taco Bell app right now. I'm going into drinks and I'm scrolling through here, and I do not believe. No, I'm not seeing it yet. Okay, so this is uh at the date of this recording, folks, this is July the 5th. So it's not out yet, or at least not at my local Mountain Dew, but it's coming. There's a new flavor called Mountain Dew Baja Blast Midnight, and I've already had it. I had it because I was on one of these Facebook groups and somebody posted, and when did I have this? This was last week. I was on one of these Facebook groups and somebody was like, "Yeah, dude, there's this new flavor coming." I stopped in at my local Taco Bell and they had a coming soon sticker on the fountain machine where it's supposed to go at. And I asked the person there, like, "Hey, are you guys selling this yet? Like, do you have it?" And the manager told me, like, "Well, I'm not supposed to tell you that we do, but it's already hooked up. So if you hit the button," and sure enough, the dude got some. So I'm like, all right, well, I want to try it. I want to see if it works for me. Um, so sure enough, I think I read that. It was like a week later. Uh, okay, so Baja Blast Midnight, just to clarify before I go into the story here, the flavor is supposed to be a new passion fruit infused flavor of Mountain Dew exclusive to Taco Bell that will be released in the summer. It's a darker purple hued version of the classic Baja Blast, combining the original tropical lime flavor with the bold taste passion fruit. So I roll up to the Taco Bell in the town where I worked at. I'm on my way home from work. Um, and I just pull up, dude. I roll down the window, start talking to the girl, and I'm like, "Hey, do you guys have that new Baja Blast yet?" And she's like, "Uh, I think so." And I'm like, "Okay, well, can I get a large one of those?" "Yeah, sure. Anything else?" "Nope, that's all I want. Just give me a large one of those." Gives me my total. I pull around. Somebody in front of me, they finish their order, whatever, pull off. I pull up to the window. She opens it, tells me my total. I give her my card, and she's hands me the drink, and she's like, "I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to sell this to you yet, but I guess it's your lucky day. Congrats." So I've already had it. It was pretty good. Um,
Well,
but when she,
general fast food employees, there's a certain
yeah,
level of
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't get paid enough to really
yeah,
care
yeah.
too much about this.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did 5.5 years in the business, man. I get it. Uh, but like when she handed me my receipt, like I think she was legit. Like she was probably not supposed to sell it to me because she did not ring it up as that. It was
Hmm.
still being rung up as, I think, mango tea, which I believe is what it's replacing.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, so that's the next flavor to hit the market. As far as other future plans, I'm not sure what's going on out there. I haven't looked. I probably should because I'm gonna need to know where I need to start looking for some of these.
Well, you
Um,
mentioned earlier about they have kind of like a seasonal summer flavor. So
yes.
I looked that up while you were waiting for your Taco Bell app to update. I see that that is Mountain Dew Summer Freeze, which looks to be based off of those rocket popsicles.
Uh-huh.
So it's a cherry lemon raspberry flavor Mountain Dew.
Ooh. I was just at the grocery store the other day and I saw it, man. I should have picked one up. I'm looking this up also, and apparently Walmart also has their own exclusive summer flavor this year called dragon fruit. It's just dragon fruit. Citrus and exotic sweetness is how they're describing it. So a couple new flavors out there.
This
Um,
idea of like store and location based exclusives, it almost reminds me of the gaming industry in a way. And I wonder if that kind of marketing idea is inspired um, in that way, where there's like limited time console exclusives when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting marketing tactic, and obviously it must be working to an extent because they keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? It was a month ago when I streamed. I had that Little Caesars exclusive one, like the Sweet Heat. It was like a hot mango.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was from Little Caesars. That was exclusive to them. Could only get it there, nowhere else. So I mean, they do this stuff like all the time. It's so strange because nobody else does that, man. No other soda does that. They're just like, whatever.
I
If you
feel
want
like
us if you want us to make a flavor, we'll make it as long as you pay us. We don't care.
I feel like it would be a journey and a half to pull up like either the Wikipedia page or whatever it would be of the list of all Mountain Dew flavors and where they were located and for what amount of time, and just look
Mm-hmm.
at the the Mountain Dew experience. I would classify it as.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much out there. Like, it's not just like your classic flavor has been it for years. Like, they've just been all over the place. Especially, I mean, it's I would say probably within like the last 30 years is when it's just really they're just like, hey, what can we do with this? Let's
You know,
make it
what
work.
can we do with this?
For those of you that are listening that maybe are familiar with some of the really nitty gritty stuff in gaming, they're almost like they're almost like the Embracer group of sodas, or maybe like Tencent, where they're just kind of invested into everything,
Hmm.
and whatever works, like they'll invest more into it. Whatever doesn't work, they quit.
All right.
I think that's their strategy. They're just gonna like, we'll throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks, and we'll go from there.
Jerry from marketing came up with this idea. We're gonna throw it over to this quadrant of the United States, see how it does. If it's not doing too well, we'll just cut it.
Basically, basically, it's probably exactly what happened. I mean,
well,
why not?
well, Nintendobro, this has truly been a delight. As with all of these interviews, I learn so much more than I actually expect to going in. Not necessarily that I don't expect to learn too much, but the amount that I learn and the specifics that I end up learning are much wilder than I could have ever like mentally prepared myself for.
Well, it's been a good time. I've enjoyed getting to impart some Mountain Dew knowledge, fun facts, some what else would you call that? Personal stories. Been
Anecdotes,
great.
sciences.
Yeah, anecdotes. There we go. That's the word I was
No,
looking for.
I am more than positive we will have you back for a different discussion. More likely than not, avoiding soda. But
Come on, man.
I'm sure there will be an opportunity, regardless of a future topic, to be like, now how does Mountain Dew come into this topic here? Completely unrelated. Like, where's the connection in Nintendo Bro Land? And I'm sure there will
There's
be one.
oh yeah, there's a Mountain Dew junction in everything I do in life.
But thank you again so much for being here talking about Mountain Dew with us. That's going to be it for us today. But I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and goodbye.